That's myfavoritedj.com. Welcome to the home of my favorite DJ, DJ Jules, baby. If you're looking for a DJ for any type of event, call us now, 313-595-8845. Once again, that's 313-595-8845. www.that'smyfavoritedj.com. The perfect DJ for any of your events. Sweet 16, 21, 30, 50. You turn to 75 years of age, DJ Jules, baby, is the perfect DJ for you. Weddings, corporate events, call 313-595-8845. That's myfavoritedj.com.
The combined power of a group when working together is greater than the total power achieved when working alone.
That's synergy.
Synergy works. Synergy. From the Greek word synergos, equals working together. Synergy works. Synergy is different people working out together advantageously for one final outcome, one goal, rewarding results. Synergy works. Don't train by yourself. Train with synergy. Why? Because synergy works. Contact us today to set up your fitness assessment. Synergy works.
TNT Cakes, Creations, and More, where we specialize in red velvet and strawberry cheesecake, chocolate-covered strawberries, custom baby boxes, custom signs, custom tees and sweatshirts, custom sports balls, graduation accessories, custom glasses and tumblers, custom license plates, heat transfers, custom office signs. TNT Cakes, Creations, and More. Give us a call.
Are you an indie podcast or content creator looking to reach a wider audience? Look no further. Introducing Podcastic, the ultimate podcast network designed exclusively for indie creators like you. At Podcastic, we believe in the power of unique voices and fresh perspectives. We're here to amplify your passion and creativity, connecting you with the growing community of engaged listeners who crave original content. Podcastic is more than just a platform. It's a support system built for indie podcasters, offering a range of resources to help you succeed. From tailored promotional campaigns to professional production assistance, we're here to help you shine. Our intuitive platform makes it easy for you to be seen and heard. We do all the heavy lifting for you. You just show up and create. Plus, with our advanced analytics, you'll gain valuable insights into your audience's preferences, allowing you to refine your content and grow your fan base. Ignite your passion, expand your reach, and thrive with podcasting. Visit our website at www.podcasticlife.com to get started. Podcastic, the home for indie podcast and content creators.
The content you're about to hear is a part of a paid programming segment. The views, opinions, and statements expressed belong solely to the sponsor and do not reflect those of Podcastic or its host. This segment is for informational and promotional purposes only and should not be considered as advice or endorsement. Listener discretion is advised.
Yeah. 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 Big flex on the set, you know we gotta rep. Heavy talk on that mic, all we do is press. John Q, that's coach, got him upset. Gym Animal, Muscle Gang, we up next. Big Flex Podcast live on Monday night with John Q, Latoya, Deshaun, and Don Snipes. You can catch Snipes on the pod or the big screen or get tea time with Toya if you want the tea. Talk about the strong end on your weekday. Tap in with Muscle Gang, you never have a weekday. Big Flex Podcast, 9 p.m. Monday. Pull us up on YouTube if you want that replay. Big Flex Podcast, 9 p.m. Monday. Pull us up on YouTube if you want that replay. It's the Big Flex Podcast, Mondays, 9 at night. It's the Big Flex Podcast. Come on.
Just lemon water.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome back to the GAMG, the Big Flex Strong Cast for episode 107, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I am your host, John Q. And of course, you know what I'm saying, we gotta say the best hostess to the mostest. Say, we're gonna start down here with sis, the Toya Shine in the building. What up, though, sis?
What up, bro?
Nothing too much shit. And, hey, he over here peppering some shit. You know, this one always eating this
Always.
shit. You know, I think this is just a staple and shit. What up, though, brother? Say, we got Down Snipes in the building. Got the whole studio smell like onions.
I'm just trying not to eat late because sometimes, you know, when I get about this, I'm going and cooking and eating late and all that. I'm just trying to do better. That's all I'm saying.
At 9:30, he trying not to eat late. That's
You know
pretty
what I'm
late for
saying?
the rest of us.
But think about it. If I waited,
If you waited until after you left, yeah.
Come on now, we got a carpe diem.
You
Seize
eating
the
late.
day.
You eating late.
At least you're eating healthy.
You're gonna be shitting late too.
Well, you know, this a little hummus and that a little shawarma and a little Greek patouche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got this motherfucking studio banging.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Mediterranean is my favorite cuisine, so I'm never mad at that onion smell. I love it.
For sure. Well, y'all already know, hey, look, this is where gym conversation meets podcasting. So y'all know what to do when y'all come to the gym, to the GAMG gym. You know what I'm saying? Y'all dap it up. And that means hit that like button, hit that share button, and subscribe if you haven't already.
What the fuck was all that tapping going on? Was that
That
you
was
guys?
that was Doc.
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was Dr. Ruckus over there. You know what I'm saying?
Causing ruckus. Dr.
look,
Ruckus causing ruckus.
Yeah. Now that's your monkey ass and shit.
Go ahead. I'm gonna have to put
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to put a dead cat on this motherfucker.
Man. So hey, look, so how was y'all strong in, y'all?
Mine was pretty damn shitty, actually.
Oh shit.
That's pretty damn
Come on,
shitty.
you was on the
It
street.
went long and shit.
Yeah, you was on the street. How was this one shitty?
I know the bad air quality
Yeah.
Oh, well.
has just had me feeling
Your allergies, man?
terrible.
Hell yeah.
I
Shit.
called him. I called
What?
Terrible.
Listen, I was riding down the street.
Yeah.
And someone was like, call cuz, check out him. He like, hello. I'm like, you know, I can hear it in
Yeah,
your
he called
voice,
me and he
bro.
called me and shit. My shit was driving in the motherfucking and shit. It took about 20 minutes for my shit to kind
Look,
of.
he sound angry and shit. He like, man, I'm just...
It was bad, Don. It was so bad. So Saturday I stayed in all day.
Yeah.
Sunday, as soon as I went outside, I got sick. And after being outside for like 20, maybe 30 minutes, I got super nauseous and had to pull over and vomit. Like that, I was down.
Yeah, I was
Bad.
I was through from like say Thursday and Friday was really my worst days. Yeah, I don't know what the
Dr. Ruckus phone.
man. Hey, look, that shit sounds like some Diddy shit. Like what the hell going on and shit, man? But,
Yeah, so it wasn't the best, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm finding ways around it. Had to wear a mask today.
Yeah.
Just to, you know, filter my ear while I was
So you out
outside.
here wearing the COVID joints?
Yeah, man, shit.
The COVID joint.
Yeah, you got
If I
listen.
see you walking down the street with one of the fucking COVID joints, I'm gonna be like, something wrong.
You want to
bro.
see me
You
walking
look
down the
good.
street, one of them COVID joints on, or you want to
Shit, I
see me
need a
pulled
hazmat
over in the
suit,
turning
my
lane
dad.
So
vomiting?
you know
Because
what?
that's
You know
exactly
what?
what that
What's
looks
crazy
like.
though is not only are we getting that bad air, that soot from Canada,
Yeah.
but the pollen is just.
It's so
It's like we getting a
heavy.
late
Snow
ass.
White.
And it's like,
It's
dude,
so
it's
heavy.
June. We supposed to get
Yeah.
that shit last month.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying?
The
man.
pollen and stuff, like my allergies, like they gonna act up, they gonna be bad over that. But I really
Yeah.
feel like it's the soot from
It's both, man. I've been told.
Yeah, but the combination just like it took me
Yeah.
all the way out. But I'm recovered. I'm back. We
All
just
right.
gonna be out here with our curl mask on. But
Yeah.
all good.
All right. What about you, Snipes?
Man, you know what? Man, I wanted to start this. My daughter is in town, okay, with her boyfriend. So Friday, once she flew in town, they went to the Tigers game.
Okay.
All right, and I picked them up, and the Tigers had a night game. They won, so downtown it was just nice and
Yeah.
off the chain. And then on top of that, I took them to Penny Red's, and then we had some drinks at the Brakeman.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? All that type of stuff. So it was a good time. And then Sunday, my mother came in town as well. Shout out to Monty. You know what I'm saying?
All right,
so
Auntie.
I was just hanging with, all of my folk. I'll just say this: when you have, children that are, doing their own thing and they up in age, it's a beautiful thing to see. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of the most beautiful moments that I can think of are the moments that I have, with my girls, and I always tell people, you have to cherish the good and the bad times.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't, and then today I had my godson all day, and really, really bright guy. I pulled up, I Googled, I said, what are words, because he's only 6 years old. Yeah. I said, words that a 6-year-old should know. So they showed me a list of, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade words. We got all the way to the fifth grade and he's still just going. But we were working on his penmanship and his writing. His brain so far ahead, you know what I'm saying? He got to catch up with writing, but shout out to Harper, man. My godson, he can read his tail off, So
I love Harper's stories.
Today, we're sitting there and we went to Myers. And if anybody is out there, go to the teacher store. Myers don't have shit no more. I was pissed because I wanted to get something quick. Yeah. So I shoot over to Myers and I'm like, man, let me get him a little handwriting book, where he can practice his ABCs, practice upper lowercase letters, this and that. And I probably found the only book in the store. You know what I'm saying? So, but for anybody out there that's looking, you know what I'm saying, they're looking for items for their children, just go to the teacher's store. Look it up. I think there's one in Livonia, might be one in Troy. But outside of that, man, had a good, strong end. I've been doing a little bit less. How about that? Okay. Doing a little bit less. Okay. And it feels good to, say no to certain stuff. So
absolutely. All right.
Let me plug this real quick while we're talking about educational pieces. Don, don't forget Encourage Me, I'm Young. Yeah. Has educational books.
Yeah. Who's this?
Calvin Man.
Okay.
Yeah, Encourage Me, I'm Young.
Yeah, they have educational books.
Yeah. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, good plug. Say it again. Encourage Me, I'm Young.
Yeah.
Encourage Me, I'm Young. And that's Calvin
Man. Calvin T. Man, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Shout out to Calvin T. Man. I haven't met. He was on the show?
He has a
but I don't think he might have been here that episode. But he got a podcast too. Yeah.
Hey, well, shout out to you, brother. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely going to have to check you out. Hey, we live too, by the way, for everybody that's looking. It's the Big Flesh Strong Cast. So check us out on YouTube or
go ahead, Paul.
Or Facebook podcasting. I'm sorry, I had to shout that out, because I don't go live like that.
You gonna punch Yeah. All right. Well, look. Say my strong end wasn't too bad. Friday I hung out with Ed that came up here, for the 100th episode, stuff like that or whatever. It was his birthday the previous week, but he had us come out to Snookers, so we went up there for a minute and chilled with him. So shout out to Ed for his birthday. He just turned 50, so they had
shout out to the 5.
Happy birthday!
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to black men. Shout out to all the black men that, you know what I'm saying, hit 50 and just still thriving and moving and experiencing life.
Absolutely. So then Saturday didn't do too much or nothing, but went out to eat and just picked up a couple of things and stuff like that. And then yesterday, shout out to the little cuz RJ for his what you call that, the college not the outing, what they call those
college tours.
No, not the college tour. He got accepted to go to Arizona State University, so he had his
open house.
I don't know why drawing a fucking blank and shit. You know what I'm saying? But an open house. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
So I
sitting
seen
here
the
trying to
family
catch
and
your
everything.
vibe. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. So, you know, I'm like, family outing. No, but yeah, his open house and everything. So, I was chilling with the family and stuff like that yesterday for a minute. So, shout out to him. Congratulations. He's going to be engineer. He's going to, you know.
Congratulations.
So, very smart and intelligent young man. You know what I'm saying? Got his head on his shoulder. And definitely, you know what I'm saying, he's very focused. So, you know, looking for great things for little cuz, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to my cousin Christian, Raphael, the rest of the family, you know what I'm saying? Everybody.
These kids, they're the future.
Yeah, they definitely are.
And the future.
I told him, hey, look, I told him, I said, hey, listen, as bad as this world is, you go into engineer, I want you to make up a, you know, like I want you to build us another world, man.
Build us a whole
Hell
other
yeah, a
world.
whole other planet.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's deep.
Now listen,
You know?
just like a lot of these children had to experience COVID, and that's something while we were growing up, we didn't have to experience going to school. Now they about to hit another milestone with this AI stuff.
Man.
Okay,
What?
and so our children,
Man.
they are about to enter an
10 years.
age.
Shit.
And one of the things that I'm concerned about, a lot of these children already kind of lack hope, and something that a lot of people haven't talked about is during COVID, a lot of children were suffering from depression. They were suffering from, you know, lack of human interaction with people, lack of being able to cultivate friendships.
Yeah.
All right. Social media is already widening that gap in terms of human to human contact. A lot of children, you know, they stuff that's normal to them, we was getting popped upside the head for. You know, you pull up over auntie house or something, and you didn't have your head down playing the
Hell
video
no.
game. Hey, speak when you walk in the house. Go over there, give your auntie and uncle a hug. Now these kids will come and be sitting right next to somebody and just, so they already really don't understand that they lack a lot of social interaction, and a lot of their social skills are just in the toilet.
Yeah.
But now we are about to enter the age of AI where
Say enter the age.
well, we in
already-
it, but I'm just saying
These motherfuckers.
I'm just
got
saying,
no
like,
safeguards, so shit.
this stuff
shit
is going
off the-
so
this shit is off
fast
the rail, dude.
right now that this AI and this technology is it's going to change the job market seriously.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm concerned, but again, hey, you know, for whatever reason, this is their time to be on this earth, and you know, we shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. We shall see. So, all right, y'all. So, we're gonna go ahead and get into say some tea time at this moment. You know what I'm saying? What you got, sis? As far as tea time today.
So today we are going to talk about, which will fit perfectly into our topic. Today for tea time, I want to talk about, we have to acknowledge our triggers and our traumas and the things that give us anxiety, the things that bring us pain, the things that make us shut down. We have to acknowledge those things as healthy, right? But today I want to talk about acknowledging your glimmers while you work through your triggers, right? So for me, it showed up a couple of weeks ago. I am very, I guess, hard on myself when it comes to like making sure I'm handling my emotions and everything in a healthy way, and processing in a healthy way. And something happened, something that to other people might have felt so small and minute, but it brought up such big emotions for me. And I had to dig down into those emotions. And I was talking to someone about it, and they were like, yes, you have to acknowledge that you went through those things and this is the way it makes you feel. But what's even bigger is the person that you became in spite of.
Right.
So when I really processed that and was like, you know what? Sorry, Don is having a time over here. Sorry.
Man, like he 82 years old trying to figure out about this shit for the first time.
I'm sorry, y'all. Real life stuff be going on in the studio that y'all don't always get to see. But it just like when I really stopped and processed that, I was like, you know what? I can let go of the negative feelings
Yeah.
that brought to me. I can let go of the things that I had to grow through as a result of that.
Yeah.
Because I grew through it.
Yeah.
I survived it. I made it through, and not only did I survive it, but I'm successful.
Yeah.
So my message to the people today in that is yes, acknowledge your pain, acknowledge your anxiety, acknowledge your triggers, but also take a beat to acknowledge your glimmers. Take a beat to acknowledge your wins. Take a beat to pat yourself on the back. Encourage yourself and realize that, yeah, that's what you went through.
Yeah.
But that's not who you are.
All right. Yep. Absolutely.
I like that.
You know, I hear with that. You know what I'm saying? When you do with yourself, you be like off Coming to America, when you sitting in the barbershop, when he was acting like he was the Jewish guy. For real. Yeah.
All right. That's a beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. You know, you said acknowledging triggers and glimmers.
Yes.
No, that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I think just to add to that, nowadays people are identifying with their triggers more than they are anything else. And people are just starting to self-diagnose, and instead of saying, hey, I went through this, they're saying this is who I am. And that's a very dangerous mindset. It's a very unfortunate and sad way to speak about yourself, because when you do that, you're not speaking life and wholeness into yourself. So
Yeah.
definitely shout out to you for that.
All right.
Man,
clap
listen.
that shit up. Yeah, clap that shit up, man.
My motivational moment today is going to center around the importance of being careful of what you consume. We got a lot of this Diddy stuff going on right now. Okay. We got a lot of Cardi B stuff going on right now. We got a lot of stuff going on in LA, with immigration and ICE. I understand that it is important in life to, be abreast and know what's going on. But at the same time, we need to be careful of what we are consuming, and especially in excess.
Yeah.
Okay, because you figure we wake up every single day and this is all you see.
You getting programmed.
Hey, did you see today Diddy was rubbing something on his chest? Did you see they were throwing rocks at the ICE cars? Did you see Cardi B twerking? Here's my deal and why this is extremely important. And I'm going to be extremely transparent when I say this. Being a black, being a melanated, being a color, a person of color in America right now, anytime we're in the news, it's always going to be sensationalized. All right. It's always because, people view, black Americans as, the bottom of the barrel. So anytime we got something going on, it's going to be way bigger in the news than anything else. All right. I say that to simply say that we have to be careful of what we're consuming, because if you say something to yourself or you repeat something long enough, you start to believe it yourself. Yeah. When we're constantly consuming negative stories and information, that affects us from a subconscious level that many of us don't think about. And then we start to look at our own people with the side eye and all that other kind of stuff. And that's not good. You start listening to all this craziness that's going on in the Diddy trial, and it has a central theme of people doing whatever they feel like they need to do in order to get ahead, and that they have no morals, no integrity, and the only thing they care about is getting the bag. I saw something the other day
I'm so sicky.
Yeah, it was a post that said, "Hey, ladies, if your landlord offered you, 1 year free rent to have sex with him, what would you do?" And I saw these women commenting on it, and I said, you know what? I listen. I instantly unfollowed the person, but I say all that to say that at that moment was a moment for me to say, hey, Don, be careful of what you're consuming. Because, you know, again, I don't want that in my consciousness. You understand what I'm saying? Because what happens is if we are constantly being programmed to only see the bad, only see the negative, only see the people with low integrity, only see the people with no morals, no values. You understand what I'm saying? You start to look at the world and see the world in that way. And then you'll find that you'll start waking up and only noticing the bad in people, and you won't see the good in them. And there are a lot of good people in this world. There are a lot of beautiful things in this world. So just, again, be careful of what you're consuming, because, again, black love still exists. I was telling somebody this the other day. When I hear a lot of women say, hey, you know, you look at all these black men, they only want white women. Wait a minute. Be careful of what you're consuming, because the media and all this other stuff, they will focus on certain relationships, but don't get it twisted. Black men love black women. All right. So just be careful of what you're consuming. Love still exists out there. There's still people with integrity, and there's still black business men and women that move with integrity. Don't always believe this narrative that once a person gets a lot of money, that all of a sudden money is just going to make them turn, you know, into a person that's greedy.
She's just going to anticipate if you an asshole or you a good person.
It just depends on the type of person you were before you got the money.
Money amplifies who you are. It does not change you. So if this type of stuff already exists in your heart, it's going to come out when you get that money. Again, be careful of what you consume. You understand? You know, consume some things that's going to help you to see the good in people. You know, pay attention to the black love. Pay attention to the families out there that are still, you know what I'm saying, pushing it and making it. Pay attention to these children out here that want to get a good education and staying out of trouble. Learn to look for the good. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Left that shit 100.
There's a theme in those messages, in case the listeners didn't catch it. You know, we have a lot of negative things going on in our lives and in our worlds, but choose to acknowledge, choose to
wisely
view the positive things more than the negative things.
All right. All right, y'all. Hey, look, we about to get to the main topic, you know, so we on these heavier topics already, you know what I'm saying? We got to get to vulnerability, all right? Check this out. So in a general sense, it can be understood as being susceptible to harm or harm, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, all right? So honesty and transparency are key. This is just my opinion on that one. But here's a question. Do you believe being vulnerable in life situations could be a good thing or a bad thing? That's one question. Let's attack that one. I got several questions, but let's attack that one first. We'll keep on moving on.
I believe that being vulnerable is a superpower. All right. When I was younger and I was growing up, I never wanted to be vulnerable about anything. You know, I was taught that, you know, as a man, when you show that you're vulnerable or you express, you know, being vulnerable, it is a sign of weakness. And it's, I don't know, I just felt like everything that I was taught about vulnerability pointed to one thing, and that was, if you're a man and you subscribe to being vulnerable, it's a sign of weakness. All right. And as I got older, I realized that philosophy was ass backwards. All right. Because here's the deal. When you don't practice something yourself, sometimes it's hard to recognize that in other people. You understand what I'm saying? Like I always say, you can't give somebody something that you don't have. So I realized that part of the reason that I had a problem connecting with certain relationships and people in my life was because of my lack of vulnerability. It wasn't them. It was times that people were vulnerable with me, and I didn't necessarily have a certain level of compassion, empathy, and understanding, because I lack vulnerability. All right. I didn't have it in myself, so it was hard to see it in others.
Yeah.
When I learned different and I start practicing that, here's the funny thing about life. Sometimes if you've been doing something for a very long time and you switch it up, the universe like to play a little game on you, and they say, that's why you never did that. Meaning that the minute that I decided to change and start being vulnerable, it was weaponized and used against me. All right? And that hurt. But I kept going.
Yeah.
I'm not about to make nothing up about why I kept going. I'm just going to say that, you know, something within me, my compass said, continue to do it. Sometimes you have to be around people that be able to recognize these things in order for you to say, oh, wait a minute, this is my tribe. Sometimes, you know, we can be vulnerable with people that don't even deserve us sharing that information.
Yeah.
And then we allow ourselves and we open ourselves up to being hurt. And now we say, you know what, screw that. I tried it, I ain't doing it no more. Yeah. But this was the wrong person to be vulnerable with.
Yeah.
This person don't give a crap about you.
Yeah.
It feels so much better when you get around somebody that loves you and cares about you, and you're able to be vulnerable, because now, which is why I say I believe that vulnerability is a superpower. When I'm able to be vulnerable, it's freeing. I feel like I can be myself. And I always say that love equals freedom. Love equals acceptance. And when you're able to go around somebody and completely be you, unapologetically and authentically you, that to me is what feels good, and it's what cultivates you to be uniquely you.
Absolutely. All right. What about you, sis? You think it's a good thing, or, you know, a good thing or a bad thing being vulnerable?
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a hard thing, but I definitely think it's a good thing for kind of the same reasons that Don displayed, right? Like, when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you can receive it and acknowledge it and that authenticity from others. Like, you get to present authentically and you get to receive others authentically. So I definitely think it's a good thing. I also had like an experience, like how Don is saying, like, oh, like, I want to be vulnerable, so let me walk in this, let me open up, let me practice this. And then, yes, it's weaponized against you.
Yeah.
But I say this, when you have that freedom of authentically being yourself and being vulnerable and being comfortable in that, when you reach that person that weaponizes it against you, it's a lesson for you.
Yeah.
It's teaching you something that you need to pay attention to as it pertains to that person.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't be transparent with them.
Yeah.
And that's something that you needed to know. So, yeah, I think I understand why some people feel like it's a bad thing, but I definitely feel like it's a good thing.
All right.
So I do have a question for Don.
Okay.
Because one of the reasons I wanted us to talk about this week is because in the show last week, Don made a comment saying that people think vulnerability is just about talking about your pain. So can we talk about that a little bit, Don?
Yeah. So a lot of times, and this is how you know when you're having a fake conversation. All right. And I just want to kind of set this up by saying that another thing that's going on right now with a lot of this AI and a lot of this technology, you have a lot of people out here faking shit. All right. You have a lot of people that'll look at a post, read a couple memes, and then all of a sudden they know how to hold a conversation, and all they really doing is saying a lot of buzzwords, but they don't really live their fucking life. All right. So you got fake woke people that know how to just barely scratch the surface of what they consider some woke political conversation or from a historical perspective. You got what I like to call the fake holistic folk. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of men and women out here that are out here, they having conversations like, hey, I'm healed. You're not healed. you read some shit and you know how to talk the talk.
And then be talking about the shit. Yeah, I gotta get with somebody that's healed. If you ain't healed and this and that, it's like shut the.
So I learned that a lot of people that think that they're having vulnerable conversations, what they're really doing is having pain performance conversations with people.
Oh, yes.
They're just sitting up talking about the pain,
and then
that
it becomes a competition.
Yeah, and what they experience.
Then trauma bond.
There you go.
Yeah,
now, what they don't realize is fake vulnerability definitely leads to trauma bonding.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, I was hurt. You was hurt too?
Yeah.
Listen, true vulnerability with your partner or somebody that you love oftentimes involves risk. Okay? And what I learned is that, and why this is important to recognize, when you risk telling somebody how you truly feel and you know it may go against something that, you know what I'm saying, maybe some of their standards or beliefs, that's being authentically vulnerable.
Yeah.
Some people hesitate to say certain things because they don't want to stir the pot. But that's not being vulnerable. Being vulnerable involves risk. It's saying, hey, I really do care about you, but I really have a concern in this area of our relationship, and I don't know how we're going to make it if we continue down this path. It's looking somebody in the face that you truly, truly love and making a vulnerable statement or really, really opening up to them in such a way that it really stirred the fucking pot. It's like, man, you know what? If I say this probably could set us on a path that I might lose this person, or this person might get rid of me.
Yeah.
That's what being vulnerable is about.
Yeah.
Being vulnerable is not just vulnerable moment.
Yeah.
When I was younger, I had a family member who he had some issues. When I got and I had expressed that to some of my family members, and when he came to me with the nonsense, I told some of my family members, and what I realized was I grew up to not feel safe, not feel protected. Now this same family member, fast forward, they having a long vacation.
Yeah.
Okay, they got a long vacation because their foolishness caught up with them. I found myself never ever talking about that because it was like embarrassing. I realized when you're a child and you experience something, you don't really know how to process the shit. That's just the bottom line. And you have to have adults around you that are willing to hold your hand and walk you through getting some healing. One thing that we do in the black community a lot of time, we sweep a lot of shit under the rug.
Yes.
We have too many of our young ladies that grow up that have been molested and raped by uncles and cousins, and we even have men that experience our young boys that have experienced the same thing. And now who do they talk to about this? We talked about this before. Most of the time, again, and we live in a world where it's a lot of double standards, and we just being real. A woman can dibble and dabble and say, hey, I like women and I like men. Once men say that, it'd be like, wait a minute. You can't say I like women and I like men, because if you like men, you like men forever.
You like men,
you don't like both.
Yeah.
And these are some of the stereotypes and fuckery that just comes with being on this earth.
Yeah.
I say all that to say this, that when I learned to be vulnerable and be able to share my experience with others, and I learned to talk about, what I experienced as a child, man, when I say it felt like a weight was lifted off me, it was freeing. And I just felt empowered. You understand what I'm saying? Because at that moment, I knew who I was and I knew where I stood. I used to hear when I was younger, as long as you know where you stand, no one could ever offend you. All right. And I didn't really know what that meant growing up.
Let me tell you. Let me interject real quick.
Go for it.
I'm about to have a vulnerable moment. You know what I'm saying? I come up in this motherfucker every other week. You know what I'm saying? And my beard getting darker. You know what I'm saying? I be putting paint on my shit. You know what I'm saying? If y'all ain't noticed, you know what I'm saying?
No, we don't.
You think I give a fuck?
It look good though, cuz.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? I got some good fucking things. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? You said one thing about, being vulnerable, you know what I'm saying, is a superpower. And I'm going to tell you just like this. It really is, because if I gave a damn shit about somebody asked me, you know what I'm saying, like, man, your shit just, was great. Yeah, it was, motherfucker, but I'm paying my shit. I don't have no problem on saying that. But, you got a lot of people out here that's afraid or ashamed to say little shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
From the joke
I
to
got my
the
own
ridicule.
motherfucking reasons, and my shit patchy as fuck, so it don't look right just yet. You know what I'm saying? When my shit snow fucking white, you gonna see my shit snow fucking white.
And you
know
look
what I mean?
young and youthful too, cuz. That running our family, though.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I ain't start paying my shit yet, but I be. Shout out to Hair Crack, you know what I'm saying, for all their products.
Hey, look, you see how my shit glistening? Yeah, my shit extra.
Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, shout out to Hair Crack. Yep. But yeah, definitely. That was just like one of my little silly ass vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? Look, I got another question for y'all. All right, we on this topic. So, when was the last time that you sought maybe help or mentorship dealing with any problems or challenges in your life when it comes to being vulnerable?
Go ahead. I got the answer for this. This is an easy one for me. This is a no-brainer.
Y'all want me to go? I'll go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
To be honest with you, I pretty much seek mentorship or some kind of like guidance all the time. Like, we might talk about family issues and stuff like that or whatever, you know what I'm saying, me and cuz, or and when we talk, that's what we talk about a lot. You know what I'm saying? On trying to get, say, either if it's some family issues, if it's some relationship issues or stuff like that or whatever. Because I will say this, I know I'm not fucking perfect. And sometimes I be wanting to know for sure, like, if it's me or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I tripping? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do I need to, you know what I'm saying, check myself? Or did I say something wrong? Or did I do something wrong to somebody? You know what I mean? Because I might be feeling a way. And then the shit, somebody might have a different, opinion or perspective to kind of like put me back centered. You know what I'm saying? As far as, outweigh and say the differences. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, it's been times and shit where I've been a bull, like bullheaded and shit like that, you know what I'm saying, where I won't apologize for something if I did wrong. But for the most part, me getting older in life, you know what I'm saying, I have no problem apologizing and really trying to get over or through, you know what I'm saying, say situations and stuff like that or whatever. However, I am at a sticking point right now, you know what I'm saying, on certain relationships in my life where I feel like, hey, it's not on me to make that, especially if I already apologized or something about something and then somebody is holding a grudge against me for whatever reason. Yeah. At that point, it's like, hey, do your thing, I'll do mine. As long as my conscience is clear, because I know my intentions are always going to be good. You know what I mean? Like, I might do some foul shit sometimes. Just say if I do some foul shit, it's not intentionally. And if I know it's brought to my attention, like when we having, say, discussions and stuff like that, as far as mentorship or counseling or anything you want to call it, then I will go back and call somebody or, you know what I'm saying, have a conversation with them and let them know, like, hey, you know what I'm saying, hey, I might have been... I was probably wrong. I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. You know what I'm saying? Do you accept my apology? And a lot of people don't even realize, like, even apologizing puts you in a real vulnerable.
That's the vulnerability.
You know what I'm saying? Very vulnerable position right there. Because a lot of people be caught up in their pride, their emotion, and ego and shit like that. Especially like a lot of men. You know what I'm saying? I do know that. Sometimes people and shit ain't trying to fucking apologize. They always feel like, hey, it's my way or the highway. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's got to agree. It's like, no, that shit don't happen like that. Because sometimes and stuff, people can actually be right in their mind, and then that person, the other person can be right in their mind. And it could be a bit of truth somewhere down the line, but how can you get to a point where if it's worth salvaging, you know what I'm saying, relationships, stuff like that, how can you get to the point to make it, you know what I'm saying, men, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
To make it,
and have a cohesive relationship.
Exactly. So I will say, like I said, me, myself personally, I do have people that I do talk to periodically and stuff like that or whatever, or friends in my life that I feel comfortable with on, asking questions about certain things that I might be, having a challenge with. That's all.
Look, I want to say something I think that I'm blessed to have, and I'm blessed to have friends that don't all think like me.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that. It is a beautiful thing to be able to have people that think differently than you and can think objectively. You know what I'm saying? Or you guys have objective conversations. You're not going to always be on the same page. Yeah. I personally, a lot of people, sometimes when they have conversation with me, they say, oh man, Don, he knows this, he knows that. Listen, if you think that about me, the one thing that most people don't understand about me is that I walk around and I don't think I know shit. Yeah. That's what makes me curious about everything else. Yeah. I don't think I know nothing. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Man, listen, it be times I literally can be eating my food and I look at a beet and I just say, man, what's health benefits of a beet? Oh, okay, you got nitric oxide. No, okay, it's gonna give me energy. Look, I do stuff like that. Yeah. I have a natural curiosity about life. Yeah. But to go back to what you said in terms of, seeking counsel and those kind of things, I enjoy seeking counsel. I enjoy, I don't always think I have it figured out. And again, I think that that's something that, when I leave this earth, if it's one thing that I want people to know about me, is that nothing else. Yeah. Is that, I am someone that, because I don't think that I know everything, it takes me down these paths and down these, to these places where I do learn things. Mm-hmm. And so, when it comes to, I used to, I have a partner, right? Zachary Cunningham, my brother, my partner.
Shout out Zach.
Man, listen, I tell everybody, Zach has an interesting view on love. Mm-hmm. All right, so when we have conversations about love, they're very interesting. I have another partner, Henri Franklin. Shout out. When it comes to I know he really enjoys, writing, love dialogue and stuff like that. But he really gets into that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I don't think I know it all. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm, a lot of times when I want to have conversations about certain stuff, I'll call up certain people that is just like, yo, I know I think like this, but let me get another perspective about some things. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm saying this to all, men out there. It's a beautiful thing when you surround yourself around, other men that are willing to share their experiences in life and just, give you some counsel and share some, some wisdom. We were just talking about this before the show started. Man, you've been married for quite some time, cuz, you know what I'm saying? And out of, marriage is not an easy thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I know I always look to you, you know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people don't know this, but a lot of people, when you're in a relationship for a very long time, I read once that they say every 7 years, couples reach a new milestone of fuckery. And if you could, if you pass that first 7 years, that second, you know what I'm saying? When you start getting to that third and fourth, set of 7, shit get difficult sometime. And just to for me to know someone that's been, experiencing life and I've witnessed your journey, man, it's a beautiful thing. So I already know it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I get to that point, I got somebody I can call. You know what I'm saying? Again, this go back to what we said earlier. Not only do we need to be vulnerable with ourselves, you know what I'm saying, but make sure that you keep people in your circle that's going to be open and vulnerable with you so that you can learn. Yeah. Listen, there's some motherfuckers out here that if you ask them for some advice, they wouldn't do that shit they damn self.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They will fucking sit there and live vicariously through you and give you some advice that they won't even fucking do.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is watch.
That shit all the time.
Man, listen, and I have learned throughout my lifetime, when I see motherfuckers like that, wait a minute, you're asking me to stand on business, but you don't?
Oh.
Nah. you're not being authentic.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you.
Sometimes they're not being authentic with themselves.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel when I feel like somebody's giving me advice that like I'm watching you and you're not following your own advice. Like now you're not being authentic with yourself. You may be giving me what you think is the best advice, but you're not being authentic
you don't
with
even
yourself
believe it.
because you're not even practicing this
They
in your
experiment
own
with you.
life.
They want to see what the outcome is.
Not with
through
me.
your life. But they wouldn't even do it they fucking self.
Not with me.
Gotta be careful with them type of folks.
So to answer the question of the mentorship, so I believe in a well-rounded village, right?
Yeah.
So I always have someone that I'm mentoring or some people that I'm mentoring. And then I always have a couple of people that are older than me, wiser than me, more experienced than me that I look to for mentorship. And I also like to make sure that that group is diversified, right? So there's a male in that group that I can call, two actually, that I can call up and be like, this is how I'm feeling about it, right? That's from a woman's perspective. I'm not really understanding the other perspective. Help me out. And because they're not a vested party, when they're telling it to me, I can process it. I can hear it. I can break it down. I can ask questions that's not offensive in that situation. So, I'm going to go a step further and say, always make sure that as you're growing somebody else, but that you have people in different areas that can mentor you and help you grow and you can be open with. And make sure, like, if you're talking relationship stuff, that you have somebody that can be, a non-biased party and can give you, the other perspective of that.
Absolutely. All right.
We need to call in number. What's the call in number?
And the calling number is
it's time to go.
He was asking me on my thing. Like, what's the call in number? I'm going to start posting this stuff on here.
Yeah. You know what? We ain't posted up this time for whatever reason. Hey, we was too busy into the conversation.
We was deep in the conversation.
Shout out to everybody that sat here with us, though. We appreciate
shout out to everybody, that's been always supporting and in with us tonight. And y'all make sure y'all tap in with us next Monday night, 9 p.m. You know what I'm saying? We have probably a special show for y'all. You know what I'm saying? As usual, you know what I'm saying? But we going to go ahead and get on out of this thing right here. We're going to flex it on out. Thank y'all for watching and supporting always. Flex it out, y'all. And we going to see y'all next week, 9 o'clock, y'all. Peace.
Big flex on the set, we gotta rep. Heavy talk on that mic, all we do is press. John Q, that's coach, got him upset. Gym Animal Muscle Gang, we up next. Big Flex Podcast live on Monday night with John Q, Latoya, Deshaun, and Don Snipes. You can catch Snipes on the pod or the big screen or get tea time with Toya if you want the tea. Talk about the strong end on your weekday. Tap in with Muscle Gang, you never have a weekday. Big Flex Podcast, 9 p.m. Monday. Pull us up on YouTube if you want that replay. Big Flex Podcast, 9 p.m. Monday. Pull us up on YouTube if you want that replay. It's the Big Flex Podcast, Mondays, 9 at night. It's the Big Flex Podcast.